Okay, mic check 1 2 1 2. Charles.
This is Charles Lee bidding you mele kalikimaka.
Aloha, my name is Annie, and I am the Marine Park Educator of the Hanauma Bay Education Program. The Hanauma Bay Education Program, HBEP, is based at Hanauma Bay Nature Preserve in Honolulu, Hawaii. HBEP is an education program whose mission is to enhance appreciation and promote understanding and stewardship of Hawaii's marine environment through public education. HBEP is administered by the University of Hawaii Sea Grant College Program and is supported by the City and County of Honolulu Department of Parks and Recreation. HBEP Podcast Number 8, Hanauma, A Sense of Place.
Aloha and welcome to our educational podcast. My name is Mahalo.
And I'm Charles.
And this is Annie.
And we are part of the education team here at the Hanauma Bay Nature Preserve located in Honolulu, Hawaii. Throughout our educational podcast, listen for our trivia question, scientific words, and other sound bites and music.
Singing in the rain, I'm singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling.
It's winter again.
Yeah! It's winter here in Hawaii.
That means there's a lot of rain and a lot of wind.
In a previous podcast, we talked about the science behind Hawaii's wet and dry seasons.
Yes, it's a matter of latitude.
Hawaiians have names for these seasons too.
Really? How very interesting.
Yes, Kauvela refers to drier months, which here in Hawaii are typically from April to September. The wet season is typically from October to March.
So, our trivia topic for this podcast is Hawaii's seasons. As Annie said, the wet season here in Hawaii is typically from October to March. What do Hawaiians call this season? Think about your answer. And for this trivia question, remember, Kauvela is the dry season. We will answer this trivia question at the end of this podcast. Good luck! Periodically, the education program receives questions about marine life. We address these questions in our advice column called Dear Darren.
Dear Darren, I grew up and live in Hawaii, and a long time ago, I remember walking out to one of the ledges of Hanauma Bay to an area called the Toilet Bowl. I heard that these ledges are now closed to the general public. Is this true?
Darren writes, yes, the ledges of Hanauma Bay are closed to the general public. This includes the areas that lead out to the Toilet Bowl and Witch's Brew.
Okay, so the Hanauma Bay Nature Preserve is visited each year by approximately 800,000 visitors from all over the world. So it's often difficult to get local people to come to Hanauma Bay. It's crowded, the parking lot does kind of deter some people because it does open and close throughout the day. But did you know that Hanauma and the areas around Hanauma Bay have Hawaiian cultural significance too? Here to talk about a sense of place is Annie, our marine park educator. And Annie, you grew up right down the street from here, right?
I did. So I have my own family or ohana ties to Hanauma Bay in this area. So I feel very fortunate to be an educator here at the Bay. And when I think of this place, of course, I think of the way that I grew up, but I also try to make connections to culture and history as well, the things that I've been able to learn over the years and share with others. So one of the ways that people can get involved with the Bay and learn more about the Bay without visiting the Bay are through some of our online resources. So that includes our education program website and other online resources that connect back onto our website. And one of those resources that talks about a sense of place at Hanauma Bay is sharing the Hawaiian place names of the area. Hanauma Bay and Ihi'ihilawa that you've heard about in our previous podcast. So Ihi'ihilawa is a place name that has to do with a native endemic water fern, but it's actually a specific location just above the bay. There's a small crater where this fern grows, but this is also a volcanic formation. This is also the name of the wind that blows inside of Hanauma Bay. It's also the name of, and it's also the name of one of our ali'i from the area that's known for being kind to the people. So there's a lot to the name, not just the name of the fern, but if you connect back to the place name, you can really learn about the place a little bit more.
So beyond the tourist attraction, beyond the marine life conservation designation, Hanauma has always had a sense of place to the Hawaiians who live here in the adjacent communities, but also deep in its cultural history, its past.
Yes, definitely. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to share this with school groups and other community members that come and visit us here at Hanauma Bay. And I think that this provides them a way to reconnect and understand other things about this place other than, yes, it is a wonderful place to come snorkeling. However, there's a lot more to it. We're really easy to reach. We're either available by telephone or email, so you can call us at 808-397-5840. You can also email us hanauma@hawaii.edu.
Great. Mahalo, Annie.
Mahalo. Thanks for having me.
Be a part of our pod. Cast. Send a shout out to your friends and family back home. Birthday wishes, holiday greetings, and even a thank you. Send it to us at hbaynews@hawaii.edu. Our shout out today is from Anka Roberts, one of our Hanauma Bay Education Program volunteers.
You guys are so awesome. I love my volunteer shifts and chatting with all of you. Thank you for all you do at Hanauma Bay for our visitors and for making it easy on us volunteers to have a great time. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you, Anka.
Well, that's a wrap, but before we go, we need to give you the answer to this podcast trivia question. There are Hawaiian words that describe the dry and wet season here in Hawaii. Kawela refers to the drier months, which here in Hawaii is typically from April to September. The wet season is typically from October to March. What is the name of the wet season? And the answer is... Ho'oilo. Ho'oilo is the Hawaiian word that refers to the wet season here in Hawaii. Stay tuned for our next podcast, and mahalo for listening.
Aloha.
Aloha.
If you like what you hear, follow HBEP Daily through social media. We're on Facebook at Hanauma Bay Education Program, Instagram at Hanauma Education, and Twitter at Hanauma Outreach. We post fun facts about marine life, weekly trivia questions, scientific comics, and updates from Hanauma Bay. This educational podcast featured 3 songs: Thoughts by Chad Smith, Ukulele by bensound.com, and The Elevator Bossa Nova by bensound.com. Find it on iTunes and bensound.com. Instagram at Hanauma... that's not our title for Instagram. Yay!